Today I'll be teaching you how to copy or take inspiration from certain marketing tactics or pieces of copy that you like while still being original. And by the way, I'm Judy. I'm the community manager and the growth operator for, oh my god, the growth operator for Copy Skills. And so I decided to come on here and teach you based on my experience. Because you see it all the time, like whenever there's a new thing that grabs attention, whether it be in ads, YouTube thumbnails, YouTube titles, even songs, people just spam it until something new comes up, something new that grabs attention. So you can do this with copy too, but if you do it incorrectly, it might come off as generic because you see all those copywriting YouTubers, gurus that use certain tactics and they get outdated really, really fast. But before you do anything, you're gonna need a swipe file, and just in case, I'm gonna explain what that is. It's basically a collection of pieces of copy that you like or ads maybe all in one document so you can access them easily when you need inspiration or if you want to write something and maybe you saw something that you liked. You can just keep them in one place and you can access them really easily. And you can either make a swipe file yourself or I can send you one when you sign up for Fastest Path to Cash for completely free. Link in description. Just reply to my welcome message with swipe file and I'll send it to you immediately. So this is Grant Cardone's email and he's telling a story about how his daughters went to a private school and he didn't like that because he didn't have control over what they were learning. And then he links that to having control over your financial situation. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to copy exactly what he did, except I'm going to put my own story and I'm going to put different advice. And I'm going to link it to something that I actually personally learned in my life, or if you're writing for a client, you can take from their story and write for them as if, they're the one writing the story. So I just copied his email, but no one can come up to me and say, oh, you got this from Grant Cardone. Because all I did is copy the structure and tie it to basically the same kind of topic, which is financial freedom and control over your financial situation. And I'm going to read my email to you so you can basically get an idea of what I did here. So, Judy, just recently I realized something. I realized how important it is to have control over your life, but for the longest time, I didn't have control at all. For example, just a few days ago, I wanted to go to the restroom during class. I really had to go, so I asked the teacher. Because she was the one in control, she said no, which really pissed me off and it had me thinking. It's so crazy that I can't even decide for myself whether I can go to the restroom or not. I'm not the one in power for something so simple. I decided to stand up and go anyway. Did I get in trouble? Yeah. Did I care? Absolutely not. When I decided to take control, I was able to go to the restroom. This might sound corny, but from this small decision, I realized that I'm the one in control all the time. That means I can control whether I make money or not. And then you can tie it to that financial lesson that you want to teach, or a product that you want to sell. And this is just a simple, like, surface level example. I'm going to show you a much deeper example, like for example copying CTAs or stuff like that, like PS. And I'm going to show you that in a second. So I got this email in my inbox and it said DIY copywriting, and I was like, what is that? So I mean, obviously everyone knows that DIY is do it yourself. And so I was like, what could that possibly mean? But in this email, he's trying to sell his mentorship. So don't do it yourself, do it with someone and like have someone teach you. But I was able to change that meaning and interpret it in my own email with a different meaning. Like, I was trying to tie it to something completely different, so I changed up the meaning, and it was really easy because DIY is not a unknown term. And in this email, it's basically like, don't try to write copy from scratch. And, it was basically teaching the same lesson that I'm teaching in this video, except it's kind of like asking the audience whether they want a video like this. And most people replied to this email and said, yes, please make a video on it, which is what I'm doing right now. And so basically, this is another example. You can change up certain terms and put them in your own email, but change up the meaning of them. So basically you're not copying anything, especially when you add your own stories to it or anything like that, anything personal. I don't have anything to demonstrate for this, but what I used to do as copy practice is write a sales page from a VSL. And I wouldn't copy it verbatim. What I would do is take the information in the VSL and just change up the structure, make it look like it wasn't taken from the VSL at all. And obviously when you do this for a client, it has to be from their own VSL because otherwise it wouldn't work. What I also did is rewrite a sales page and make it look so different to the point that people can't tell that I rewrote that sales page. There's no point in writing things from scratch when you already can look at the information and just turn it into good copy, because that's your job basically. All you have to do is make sure that whatever information they're trying to get across, that actually converts into a sale. What you're doing is you're taking the information that the prospect or your client is trying to get across to their audience for them to buy, and you're trying to make that more convertible and more readable and more enjoyable to read. These were just a few examples of how you can take that information and use it to your advantage. And I feel like, sure, this was a simple video, but if I saw this when I just started copywriting, it would have been way easier to practice copy, because the first thing I was worried about is copying other people. And this is probably something from school, because they say like, oh, you can't copy and write for your essay. You can't copy, you gotta be original. But you don't have to do that, and you have to take away that belief. This is probably something that happens to all copywriters. They open Google Docs and they just stare at their blinking cursor and they have no idea what to write because they lack creativity, but in reality they just lack inspiration. And what can help with this, by the way, is reading a lot of copy. And you can do that by having a swipe file and reading all the copy in it, and boom, you'll get a lot more creative. Like, from reading a lot of copy and sometimes even stories, you can turn literally anything into a good piece of copy. Like an apple that just fell from a tree, you can turn that into a good 10-page sales letter. So thank you so much for watching, and feedback would really be appreciated. And if you want to check out my channel, my personal videos, you can check that out in the description. Peace.